A parabola is a conic section that is formed by cutting a plane here. So we cut here by the use of a plane intersecting the base, so forming this shape. So a parabola has special properties compared to some other arc, but first let's identify the parts. So we have here the axis of the parabola. So the axis of the parabola divides the arc into two equal parts. Now we have here the focus. So this is your focus F. Then this is your vertex V. And this line is called the directrix of the parabola. The distance between the vertex to directrix and the vertex to focus is equal. So this distance, let's call this distance A. Now, this line is called the latus rectum, which is equal to 4a. So 2a here on the downside and 2a here. So your focus, vertex, and directrix and the latus rectum, those are the basic components of the graph of the parabola. So the parabola may have different direction of opening. So it could be opening upward, opens downward, opens to the right, and opens to the left. It can also have different location of vertex. So vertex can be located at the origin, or at HK. So the equation of the parabola varies depending on the location of the vertex and the opening of the parabola. So if your parabola has the vertex located at the origin and it opens upward, the equation for the parabola is x squared equals 4ay. On the other hand, if your vertex of the parabola is located at the coordinate hk, the equation will be x minus h squared equals 4a times y minus k. When the parabola is opening downward, so the equation will be x squared equals negative 4ay. Then at vertex hk, you have x minus h squared equals negative 4a times y minus k. If your parabola opens to the right, you have the equation of y squared equals 4ax. If your vertex is at hk, you have y minus k squared equals 4a times x minus h. On the other hand, if your opening is to the left, you have y squared equals negative 4ax. If the vertex is at hk with opening to the left, you have y minus k squared equals negative 4a times x minus h. The general form for a parabola can either be ax squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. If your parabola opens upward or downward, you have by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0 if your parabola either opens to the right or to the left. So one thing you have to remember is that when the squared coefficient is y, your parabola opens either to the left or to the right. And when the squared coefficient is x, your parabola opens either upward or downward. Now let's solve an example. So let's say we have y squared minus 5x plus 12y equals negative 16. So we are required to determine the standard equation coordinates of vertex and draw the graph. So we have an equation of parabola in general form. Y squared minus 5x plus 12y equals negative 16. So in order to transform this to general form, we apply the method of completing the square. So first, let's isolate those expressions with y and y squared at the left side. So we have to transpose this negative 5x. Therefore, we have y squared plus 12y equals 5x minus 16. Now, by completing the square, we have y squared plus 12y plus the square of 1/2 of 12 is 6 squared is 36 equals 5x minus 16 plus 36. So simplifying, we have y plus 6 squared equals 5x minus or plus 20. So to further simplify to standard equation, we have y plus 6 squared equals 5 times x plus 4. Therefore, our vertex is at negative 4, negative 6. Now, 4a is equal to 5. A equals 5 over 4 equals 1.25. So given the fact that we have the square on the y coefficient, we have a parabola that opens either to the left or to the right. Our 4a is positive, therefore the parabola opens to the right. So now we can proceed with the graph of the parabola. So let's plot the vertex first. Negative 4, negative 6. So this is the Cartesian coordinate plane. Now we have for x negative 4. So this is your negative 4, and this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6. So this is the intersection. So this is your vertex at negative 4, negative 6. Now, the value of a is 1.25. So to get the coordinate of the focus, knowing that the parabola is opening to the right, so let's add 1.25, or let's move 1.25 to the right. So it's about here. So your focus is here. So your f has the coordinate of negative, so this is negative 1, this is negative 2, so negative 2.75 and negative 6. So your latus rectum is 5 meters long. So it's located somewhere here. So this is your latus rectum. So the parabola opens like this. Then this is your axis of symmetry, or the axis of the parabola, and to plot the directrix, we move 1.25 units to the left, or at the back of the vertex. So we have here negative 5 and 0.25. So your directrix will be somewhere here, and your directrix has the equation of x is equal to negative 5.25, and that gives you the graph for the parabola with a standard equation of y squared minus 5x plus 12y equals negative 16.